And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 3,100 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a newer series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have all the actual masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 5 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia specifically. And in addition, we're running our newer number 5 Hocus Pocus Internet SDR receiver, loaded with 50 additional pre-programmed Internet SDR locations spread out over 20 states across the eastern half of the United States, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 5 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specifically oriented resonant tuned dipole antenna. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over for Montreal to Miami, with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, with all that being said, let's open it up and see who's out there. If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
Roger, it is November 8, Delta, Kilo, Hotel. My handle is Dusty, and I'm located in Central West Virginia. Running about 100 watts on a in-fed low wire antenna. My rig set up as a Yaesu FT891 QSL.
Roger that, Dusty. Now, that 891, is that a newer radio or an older radio?
That 891, is that a newer radio or an older radio?
It's a newer. It came out last year. It's technically a mobile radio, but I've got it wired up in the house for to use as a base. Go ahead.
Roger that. Well, first thing would be to make sure that you're in that wide 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. TBW, wide 100 to 2900. Roger, roger.
Wide 100 to 2900. Roger, roger.
Roger, roger. That is a roger. And I appreciate you opening up the net with the prayer. That really means a lot to me anyway. And I'm sure it means a lot to everybody that's monitoring. So I just wanted to mention that as well. What was your call sign again, sir? I'm so sorry.
Roger, call sign is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor KC9VKV. Name here is Jim Juliet India Mike, and we're located down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. Roger.
Copy Louisville. Roger. That's very good. Well, I'll be short time. I appreciate the QSO and checking me in. I'll say 73 to you and to everybody else, and I wish the best for this net. And I'll turn it back over to net control. This is N8DKH 73s, and I'll be QRT on your final.
Yes, sir, Dusty. Well, this is a transmitter setup frequency. We assist folks in setting up their transmitters. Yours sounds really, really good. It sounds like, you have about a 3 dB dynamic range on your audio, which means your average percent of peak modulation is somewhere around 80 to 85%. The audio curve is very good as far as intelligibility, and we are recording now, so if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
That's Roger. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. N8DKH.
Roger, Dusty, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. If you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
AWW4 ALC. Oh, you're doing a bang up job.
Oh, I hear somebody ALC. Is that a Roger?
Oh, I hear somebody ALC. Is that a Roger?
That's a Roger. WW4 ALC.
Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Roger, Roger, and what's the name there?
Say again.
What's the name there?
What's the name there?
Michael Bellino. I'm over here in Maryville, Tennessee.
Roger, Michael, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Michael, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running FTDX 10.
Roger, Roger. Well, it's just a great radio. That's one of those radios that just is, keeps on keeping on as far as performing. So why don't, I've got a pretty good copy on you on my Kentucky SDR, and so why don't you give me about 15 seconds and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
And tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Hey, Roger, it's my really not sure. Steve, and Chris is really good on it if I can get that right.
Roger, Michael. Okay, that's a hand mic that you're using. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Michael. Okay, that's a hand mic that you're using. Is that a Roger?
Say again?
Roger, that's a hand mic that you're using. Is that a Roger?
Roger, that's a hand mic that you're using. Is that a Roger?
Yes, sir. Sure is. It's the mic that came with it.
Yes, sir. Well, the best way to run that mic is to pull it to the corner of your lips, actually touch the corner of your lips, and talk across it. Bring it to the corner of your lips, and talk across it. Roger?
Corner of your lips, and talk across it. Roger?
Hey, Roger, that's how I'm doing it right now.
Yes, sir. Well, that just really, prevents a lot of mouth noise from getting on the air, plosives and stuff. So that's what we recommend. Just pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. And that'll be the best way to handle that microphone, Roger.
That'll be the best way to handle that microphone, Roger.
Hey, Roger, is the audio, is real smooth and all that good job?
Yes, sir. Looking at your audio, I've got a VU meter tied. All right. I'm monitoring on the SDR, Kentucky SDR, and there's all SDRs that I've run across. Most of them are rolling out on the bottom side, the lower frequencies, at about 200 to 300 cycles. So I don't really have a good, accurate picture of your bottom side, but the upper side sounds just perfect. It's got a lot of high-frequency content, which is, so necessary for articulation and to be able to understand what you're saying. So I can understand you just perfectly, Roger, Michael?
I can understand you just perfectly, Roger, Michael.
Hey, Roger, that sounds really good on mine. Yeah, I really love this radio.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That I think will turn out to be one of the more classic new radios. You know, it has all of the capabilities, I think, of matching the 7300's track record as far as a radio that has been secured by many radio operators to date. You know, the 7300 just really took over the market almost as far as new radios are concerned, and I think that FTDX10 might do the same thing because it is a great radio.
X10 might do the same thing because it is a great radio.
Hey, QSL, yeah. I've talked to you before, and the first time I've talked to you, I was on the 7300, and now I switched over to my 10 here, which I'm very, very pleased with.
Yes, sir, Michael. Just remember to keep that mic on the corner of your lips to reduce that mouth noise. Roger, Roger.
Your lips to reduce that mouth noise. Roger, Roger.
Hey, Roger, that's where I'm at. I'm on the side of my mouth here. Okay, that'll work for me.
Yes, sir. So, how's the weather down in Tennessee? Pretty good, huh?
So, how's the weather down in Tennessee? Pretty good, huh?
It's supposed to start raining pretty soon. I think it's in the lower 80s and overcast. And I don't know the humidity, but it's supposed to rain this evening and in the morning.
Yes, sir. Well, it's definitely not antenna work weather, because it's got to be like minus 30 degrees before you can work outside on antennas. That's just a amateur radio given, Roger.
Antennas. That's just a amateur radio given, Roger.
Roger. Yeah, it's not in the work time. No. It would be out there in the wet rain when it's raining and it's cooler.
Roger. Now, I have been a victim of my PASDR being in a queue. That is, when they get so busy they can't do service for you, they put you in a queue, and it's just opened up. And I'm just curious. Let me do something here. I'm just curious how that SDR is going to check out as far as Kentucky is concerned. So, Tennessee is concerned. So, come back and tell me about your antenna system, Roger.
Tell me about your antenna system, Roger.
See there? And which is, I loved that antenna. It's only been up maybe a week or so now. I replaced a centipede 80 meter with it, but I love this hop centipede.
Yes, sir, Michael. Well, you know, I went through my PASDR, and it didn't sound very good. So as I was tuning around, I just went back to my local antenna, 7300 on a dipole, and you're giving me about 20 over. So just a beautiful signal, Roger.
Hey, Roger, that's really good. I'm running just 100 watts in here.
Yes, sir. Well, on my local situation, my 7300 is good down to 100 cycles. So we're looking at the complete band pass, the bandwidth of your transmitter, and it just really sounds beautiful. My audio system goes down to 50 cycles. I have an audio system with a subwoofer in it, so my audio system is good down to 40 or 50 cycles, and you're just beautiful, Roger.
Hey, Roger, I just love to hear that kind of a report. Yes, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Just keep that mic. Maybe pull that mic a little bit further back on your lips there, back towards the corner of your lips. I heard some plosives on that last transmission, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Okay, yeah, I moved it back away from my lips. It's about midway on my cheek here, so yeah, I'll just have to remember to do this.
Yes, sir. It makes a big difference. I mean, it just cleans up the act. It's almost as great as if you had a foam windscreen. You know, one of those foam windscreens that goes over the microphone. Those are just beautiful as far as, taking out everything that isn't words. And that's what you want to do. You only want to radiate the words that you're speaking, not any of the sounds used to create those words, So it really makes a big difference when you do put that mic back towards the corner of your mouth, Roger. And outside of that radio just sounds beautiful.
Hey, Roger. Okay, well, I appreciate this, and I'm gonna say some truth here and give someone else a chance here. I really love the report that you gave me. That's a really nice ordeal. Again, thank you, WW4ALC.
Roger, Michael, 73, and you know we are recording, so if you want to hear that great radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will bring up this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73, Michael, you have a great day, and if you get a chance to join us next Friday, we'd love to have you. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Alpha Hotel Lima.
Alpha Hotel Lima, Roger.
Kilo Foxtrot 8 Alpha Hotel Lima. Roger.
Alpha Hotel Lima, Roger, I got you.
Alpha Hotel Lima, Roger, I got you. All right, good afternoon. Just in case, it was Kilo Foxtrot 8 Alpha Hotel Lima.
Yes, sir, got that. What's the name?
Yes, sir, got that. What's the name? Name's Nathan here in West Virginia.
Roger, Nathan, and what radio are you running?
I'm running AZU FP710.
Okay, so you sound like you might be just slightly off frequency. We're on 7188.00, Roger? 7188.00.
Roger, 7188.00.
88.00.
Roger that. How's that sound there?
Well, there you go. There you are. Yeah, just beautiful. You know, it's for me, it's so hard to critique an audio, system that is not exactly on frequency, because it kind of blurs, and then it becomes very distracting as far as being able to, absolutely tell what's going on. But I think it sounds pretty good. Now, why don't you give me about, I've got a pretty good copy. I'm using my PASDR. So why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds and tell me about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find even a better path for us, Roger.
And I'll look around and see if I can find even a better path for us, Roger.
Roger that, yeah. I'm running a newly using a 64-to-1 Unin. I've got roughly, I think we folded it back to about 133 feet. It kind of starts at 20 foot high, ends up down about 8.5 off the ground on the far end, running north to south. But that seems to be doing okay, at least for 40 and 20. 80 meters, I can't quite get in the general band, but it seems to be doing well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, there's an old proverb, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And so sometimes it's just simpler to forget those other bands. If they're not, if your life doesn't depend on those other bands and you enjoy what's going on, sometimes it's better just to not rock the boat and keep on keeping on, Roger.
Sometimes it's better just to not rock the boat and keep on keeping on, Roger.
Yeah, Roger that. That's kind of the way I was thinking about it. If it's not broke, don't try to fix it, because I was really shooting. I knew 40 and 20 were the bands I'd like to be working on anyway.
Yes, sir. And there's all kinds of dragons out there ready to bite you on the whatever, One of those is RF and the AF. If you get a bad case of RF and the AF, man, it's, it takes you a while to be able to figure that out, and that always is lurking in the background. If you're running, particularly if you're running any kind of power. Now, it's not so bad if you're just, running 100 watts, but when you start to run, say, a KW or 800 watts, somewhere in there, then that dragon raises his head and looks for a way to jump into your audio,
His head and looks for a way to jump into your audio,
Yeah, for sure. Especially, this is only my second day ever on HF, so I'm still a green general license holder. It's all new to me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, you're a couple of things. The book on your radio is your second Bible. The first Bible is your ALC reading. And you should become familiar with a couple of things there. One of those is, and you might make note of it and be able to check it out on your owner's manual or operator's manual, and that is about the transmit bandwidth called TBW. And what that is a restriction that goes on your transmitter if you happen to select the not the best one, and retards your high frequency capabilities in your transmitter, and you become less articulated than you can be. So what we recommend, and you might make note of this on the TBW, is called wide TBW 100 to 2900, and I'll repeat that, wide 100 to 2900. And when you select that choice, you open up that transmitter to operate as just best that you can, Roger?
To operate as just best that you can, Roger?
Roger that, roger that. I made note of that. I will have to read into that.
Yes, sir. And the other part of that's the setup, and I know that you haven't been an operator for very long, so I'll just give you our setup if you want to take notes there. Would be your compressor processor, and we're looking for just a third of that, but it would be processor compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. We're just looking for a third of that compressor processor. So there you go, just 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. And then we would move to a thing called ALC, if you're still taking notes. And ALC, we usually suggest that you run that mid-scale to 2/3. You have an ALC meter on your radio, and when you find out where that is, you look at that, and as you say the word audio and transmit, audio, don't say it hard, just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running to the right of center. To the right of center, Roger?
To the right of center. To the right of center, Roger.
Roger that. Make a note of it.
Yes, sir. And that would get you going pretty well. You could use a little more top-end, more notes, more notes. You could use a little more top-end in your audio with your equalizer. Now, we're giving you a full test of everything that, not everything, but some of the things that might help you along. And I would suggest 4 clicks boost on your treble EQ, 4 clicks boost on your treble EQ, and brighten your signal up just a little bit, Roger.
And brighten your signal up just a little bit, Roger.
Roger that. Made some more notes.
Well, that's about it. I mean, if you crank those in, and then we'll give a listen to it and see what it sounds like. If you get a chance, maybe join us next Friday after you've been able to crank in all those notes, and we'll see what we got there. It should sound just beautiful. And in the meantime, if you want to hear how your radio sounds at the moment, it's kind of at the moment. We're recording now. So if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger that. That was KC9JKV.
KC9VKV. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
VKV. Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Roger?
QSL. Got it.
Roger, and the handle there is Nathan. Is that a Roger?
Roger, and the handle there is Nathan. Is that a Roger?
Yeah, roger that.
Roger, Nathan. Well, let me say 73 to you, sir. Pleasure meeting you, and hopefully maybe next Friday, like I say, you can join us, and you have a chance between now and then to crank in some of those numbers we talked about, and I'll see what it sounds like. So 73, Nathan. You have a great afternoon and a beautiful New Year. Well, not New Year, but a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend.
A great afternoon and a beautiful weekend.
All right, 73 to you also. Appreciate it. Thank you for the help.
Yes, sir, Nathan. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Bravo 3, Juliet Delta Lima.
JDL, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
JDL, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Julia Delta Lima. What's the name there?
Julia Delta Lima. What's the name there?
Yeah, name here is Craig.
Why don't you give me that phonetically, please?
Could you give me that phonetically, please?
Sure, it's Craig. C Charlie, R Radio, A Alpha, I India, G Golf. Over.
Yes, sir, Craig. And whereabouts is your location?
Yes, sir, Craig. And whereabouts is your location?
I'm in western Pennsylvania. I'm pretty much right in between Erie and Pittsburgh. Over.
Roger, 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 Roger. Well, I'm using a PASDR at the moment, and you've given me about a 20 over. This is a Milford PASDR. And what radio are you running today, Craig?
PASDR. And what radio are you running today, Craig?
I'm running a Yaesu FT710, and you're probably about 10 over, 5.9 plus 10.
Roger that, Roger that. So what we normally say, as far as setting up radios, transmitters, is to make sure you're in that wide transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. You may have a multiple selection of transmit bandwidths, but we're suggesting that you go to the wide mode, which will let your transmitter perform at its best, and that is on 100 to 2900. Roger.
Yes, and that is on 100 to 2900. Roger.
Roger that. 100 to 2900 wide transmit bandwidth. I'll have to look that up. I'm a new general ticket, and this radio, I think this is like day, 3 or 4 on the air. So there's a lot of buttons and switches to throw on this thing. So I'll look for it. Over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I can give you some more ideas if you want to take some notes there. Once you double check to be sure you're in that wide transmit band width of 100 to 2900, then it comes to the compressor processor, and we want that on a 3. And that would be a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. We just want a third of that compressor processor, and so a 3 or out of 10 or 30 out of 100 we found works just well. It's something that you would not really ever hear on the air. And then past that, and I'm assuming that you would be taking notes of this, past that you would go to your ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, don't stress it. Just say it like you would say any other word in a QSO, and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running to the right of center. We usually say 2/3 on that ALC meter is the sweet spot. So that's the ALC adjustment. That adjusts your audio sound, the intensity of your volume. And a lot of folks, they just say, "Well, get it 5 more clicks up or 5 more clicks down." But I try to tell you not only where but how. And that is the way that you would set that volume. I spent a lot of time searching for the right word to say to set a transmit level. And the word audio, the first part of that word is just filled with so many harmonics that you can see on a spectrum analyzer, just from wall to wall. And that's the best kind of signal to use to set up a transmitter. You actually become a human test tone generator, Roger.
You actually become a human test tone generator, Roger.
Roger. Should I set the mic gain with the audio setting prior to setting the compressor? Over.
No, there's a sequence there, and it's very, very deliberate, because we have a chain that if you were to do one thing before the other, it throws the other thing off. So the first thing is to, check for your bandwidth, get that under control, then move to your compressor processor, put that on a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, then move to your ALC and adjust that for 2/3 on your ALC meter, and then would be going into your equalizer and giving yourself maybe 4 dB, 4 clicks boost on your treble equalizer to give a little more brightness, Roger.
Equalizer to give a little more brightness, Roger.
Roger. That sounds good. I can find those. I know where the compressor and the ALC are. I'll have to look and see where the wide transmit bandwidth and the boost are. Over.
Yes, sir. Well, you've got a thing in there. It's called the X. It's got a wrench and a hammer or something, and it's called, what is it called? My mind, it's where you fix things. Oh, gosh. Sorry about that, but anyway, that's what that is all about. Settings, oh, of course. And so it would be in settings, Roger.
And so it would be in settings, Roger.
Yep, Roger that. I will track it down.
Oh boy! Now I've said it, and I didn't know what settings. Settings didn't come to my mind. I had a brain freeze. You reach a certain age where you start to have brain freezes.
Reach a certain age where you start to have brain freezes.
Roger that. I'm starting to get there myself, so I know the feelings.
Yeah, Roger, Craig. Well, gosh, if you would like, we obviously have been recording, and if you'd like to hear your recording of your radio now, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow, Roger.
Tomorrow, Roger.
Roger. So just to clarify one point, you said the wide transmit bandwidth from 100 to 2900. Is there any specific number within that range that you recommend over?
That is the range, 100 to 2900. And the reason that we suggest that is that it gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. Like a 3, right in that area, you would start to infiltrate into somebody else's bandwidth. But it's designed to cut off at 2900. So that's why we say, run 100 to 2900, and that'll give you just a slice of daylight to not be somebody else's problem.
Daylight to not be somebody else's problem.
Okay, roger that. Yeah, mine is set at 100-2900. There's a separate setting for narrow width that is 1500, but the other one is set to 100-2900 over.
Yes, sir. And a lot of folks set all options to 100 to 2900 to keep accidentally getting out of that. There are some provisions that switch the bandwidth, and you don't want to do that. You want to stay 100 to 2900. So I would take all of those and put them on 100 to 2900 if they're adjustable, Roger.
And put them on 100 to 2900 if they're adjustable, Roger.
Okay, roger that. Thanks for the help. I'll let you get to your next patient and look forward to the video. So 73.
Roger, Craig. And you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Roger, Craig. And you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Great. Thanks for checking in, and if you get a chance, join us next Friday. We'd love to have you cranking in all that stuff. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Like that. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Go back to Tango.
There's somebody back in there, station calling. Try it one more time, please.
Station calling.
Whiskey 8, Mike, go back to Tango.
Okay, station calling. I've just barely got you, so what I need for you to do is just come right up on that microphone and give me your call sign, Roger?
Come right up on that microphone and give me your call sign, Roger.
Yes, I only have about a dB over my Kentucky SDR noise level, so you're very light. But I'd love to get a copy on you, but you're going to need to come up on that mic and give me that call sign one more time, Roger.
You need to come up on the mic and give me that call sign one more time, Roger. That would be Bravo Alpha and Richmond, Cincinnati.
Okay, I got Cincinnati, Ohio. And do need that call sign to repeat one more time, Roger.
Need that call sign to repeat one more time, Roger. USL Kilo Echo 8 Papa Bravo Alpha or Professional Bowling Association.
Is that Kilo Echo 8 Papa Tango Alpha? Is that a Roger?
Echo 8 Papa Tango Alpha. Is that a Roger? No, Papa Bravo Alpha.
Okay, Papa Bravo Alpha. Is that a Roger?
Okay, Papa Bravo Alpha. Is that a Roger? Roger. USA.
All right, and what's the name there?
All right, and what's the name there? Name here is Rich, and it looks like this is Jim in New Albany, Indiana.
It's Roger Rich, and what radio are you running today, sir?
It's Roger Rich, and what radio are you running today, sir? Jim, this is the Yaesu BF10 on 100 watts. But the antenna is the problem. I can tell you that. I just installed my first HF antenna about a week ago. It's kind of a science experiment. It's 66 feet long, and it's only 6 to 7 feet off the ground. Random insight.
Roger, so give me your radio model one more time.
Roger, so give me your radio model one more time. That would be a Yaesu BF10.
That's Yaesu EX, Edward X-ray, something?
Edward X-ray, something? So that would be E like Delta X-ray 10.
Delta X-ray 10, is that a Roger?
Delta X-ray 10, is that a Roger? That's a Roger. Delta X-ray 10.
All right, Rich. Well, if you would be interested in a setup procedure, the first thing is to be sure that you're operating in that wide transmit bandwidth. It's called TBW, wide, and it is 100 to 2900. Transmit bandwidth, 100 to 2900. If you're not familiar with it, just make a note of it and check it out in your owner's manual at a later time, Roger. 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth.
Time, Roger. 100
100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth.
QSL, Billy, I have been listening, and I've looked at my manual, and I just don't know that number, but I do take the note of it.
Roger, Roger. Then once you get your radio, in that mode, then go to your compressor processor on and add a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how it's labeled. We're just looking for a third of that compressor processor. So, bring it up, bring your compressor processor up, and crank in, if it's 0 to 10, you want it on 3. If it's 0 to 100, you want it on 30, Roger. If it's 0 to 100, you want it on 30, Roger.
Roger. QSL.
Okay, hang on just a second here. I have to perform some major surgery here. One of my SDRs has decided to magically change frequency, and I hate things that change on their own. Some radios, as you're programming them, if you wait too long, they'll decide to go home, in the menu. And I hate that. That, as far as I'm concerned, they should stay wherever I put that menu. It should stay there until I decide that I want to put it somewhere else. If it goes back to 0, if I'm just learning the menu and I don't have time to do what I need to do, going back to 0 just makes things so difficult, Roger. To 0 just makes things so difficult, Roger.
Roger. Unfortunately, Jim, that's called Murphy's Law. Unfortunately, that guy intervened far too long. QSL?
Yes, sir. Well, I'm not sure about that. I have a long-standing bout with Glenn Close Enough. Now, Glenn Close Enough, I first met Glenn when I got a new coffee pot. And when I went to pour the giraffe or carafe or whatever the thing is, I wound up with coffee all over the table. And it didn't matter whether I poured it slow or fast or what. There was coffee everywhere. So I just, I said, that was Glenn Close Enough designed, and I have run across many things designed by Glenn Close Enough, Roger. Many things designed by Glenn Close Enough, Roger.
Roger, well, I appreciate that, Jim, and I know sometimes what sort of an F reading are you trying to get me? Probably almost nothing.
I wish I had a better copy on you. I really do, but you're just above my Kentucky SDR noise level, Roger. Well, my Kentucky SDR noise level, Roger.
So much, I think I'll pass this on to someone else since I'm hard to hear thanks to your help. So, KC9VKV, this is Kilo, Echo 8, Papa Bravo Alpha. I'll say 73 from Loveland, Ohio.
Roger, Rich, 73 there. And, if you ever get a chance to run by a power amp, boy, that is the neatest thing. Just put some clarification in the ointment there. If you have a power amp, bring it up to 500 watts, 600 watts. It helps clarify the credence. Helps clarify the credence there, and does make Mother Nature respect you a whole lot more, and folks respect you a whole lot more because your entity is one to be dealt with, because you are definitely functioning very good. Sometimes 100 watts is a difficult thing to use. I found anyway, but I do have a premise that I say, and that is that if you're transmitting 100 watts in the eastern part of the United States, I should have, or you should have at least a S5 to 8 somewhere. I mean, if you're an S1 everywhere in the eastern part of the United States, you're not getting out, and that's called ESP. Over let's see. Oh gosh, I can't recall the formula, but it's ESP over ADI, I guess it is, or EST over ADI. And what that means is how well you're getting into the area that you're looking to get into. And there's a lot of things that you can do. If there's a particular area that you want to get into, when you string your antenna broadside to the area that you're wishing to work. And usually that will, if you've ever seen a radiation pattern from a long wire antenna, it radiates off the side, not off the ends. So when you choose to put up that antenna, string it broadside to the target that you're hoping to work, and that will usually help the signal strength in that area in transmit and receive. Roger?
The signal strength in that area in transmit and receive. Roger? Roger. Yeah, absolutely. I do understand that
Yeah, I went around the horn again to look for a better signal, but there is none. So, I bet if you, let me give you a suggestion. If you were to put up a resonant-tuned dipole antenna broadside to Louisville, Kentucky, I bet your signal would jump up there 10 dB. I really do. So that would mean that you're, let's see, you're in Ohio, so that would be north to me. So if you were to go east, let's see, east and west to orient to transmit north and south, because an antenna is bidirectional. It's broadside, yes, but it's also bidirectional because it's radiating as well off the one side as off the other side. But better that than off the end, which theoretically there is no radiation at all. So it would help if you wanted to work this way, if you had the luxury and the property to be able to choose your direction. You might look up Louisville and put one broadside to that. The whole thing about an antenna is that it's all not charged in gold, and it's nothing chiseled in steel. You should have the ability just to, on a whim, put up an antenna. A wire antenna is extremely inexpensive to make. If you look at the manufacturing codes or product measurements for constructing a 40-meter tuned dipole antenna, you can find those anywhere on YouTube, and the material is almost nothing. Probably the greatest expense is the coax to get from the antenna to the radio. Roger?
Coax to get from the antenna to the radio. Roger? I find the antenna fascinating, like from the science standpoint, there's a lot going on with the atmosphere and solar flux. What's up?
Roger, Rich. And the other thing is, to get yourself an antenna switch where you can take what you have, and if you put up a new antenna, then incorporate that into the switch where you can switch from one antenna to the other. So what I'm saying is, don't get rid of your old antenna, keep your old antenna, and if you make a new antenna, put that on the switch. And maybe if you had a 4-position switch or a 3-position switch or 2-position switch, whatever it is, keep the old antenna as you add a new one, and you can use the one that you had to be sure that you're doing better on the one that you just built than the one that you had. It gives you a starting place, and it also gives you a new point, another point of view, another option, if you will. And there's nothing better in amateur radio antennas than to have options. Roger?
Antennas than to have options. Roger? Roger, Jim, absolutely. I agree 100%.
Okay, buddy, I'm going to let you go there. Like I said, I wish I had a better copy on you, but it is what it is. And if you want to hear or almost hear what you'd sound like, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73 there, Rich, and we'll catch you later, Roger.
73 there, Rich, and we'll catch you later, Roger.
Roger, Roger. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Give me a shout.
And we're on our local antenna now. That's around Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, around through there. This is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Alrighty, we just moved to our New York antenna, our New York SDR. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. And moving now to our Pennsylvania SDR. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
And nothing heard, and we've moved down to our Georgia STR. This is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Hey, this is KC9VKV. My Virginia SDR is malfunctioning there, so lots of luck. Let me see if I can bring that up. Oh boy, that is the furthest one from, when you do something. I've got, like I say, I've got 4 SDRs, 5 SDR receivers. And it, you can only get so much close to you that you can reach out and change. And this Virginia SDR tablet is just out of reach. It's just, I can't reach it comfortably. would be like poking somebody in the eyeball if I tried to fix that. So I'm just gonna write that one off for today, and I'm running on three SDRs, New York and Pennsylvania and Georgia, and also Kentucky, 4 SDRs. This is KC9VKV and the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. The Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. Oh yeah, and my local 7300. My local 7300 is running a tuned dipole antenna. The reflected wave ratio is almost non-existent. You can put it on reflective, and you can't see the meter move at a kilowatt. So it's almost non-existent there. And that's the thing about a tuned dipole antenna. It's fire to the wire, right out of the radio, right to the antenna. You don't have to go through an antenna tuner, and it just makes it really, really great. And you know, when you look at it, let me just say this about tuned antennas. I use different ways of tuning. And what happens is, if you look at it through a low power radio setting, like a quarter of a watt, half a watt or something, and transmit as you come through the frequency that is it's tuned for, the antenna SWR just drops to nothing, and then as you tune out of it, it starts to climb again. So it's just amazing. And what I use a lot is for trimming a dipole antenna, is I assign the shield side of the negative of the dipole antenna as and that's the ground. I assigned it as the SWR side, and I make all my SWR adjustments on the ground side of that dipole antenna, and I keep bringing it back on frequency on the high side of the antenna, and I keep going back and forth until I walk it down to it being on frequency with almost negative SWR, and you have to pick the frequency that you want it to be on, as far as being no SWR. So you pick that, whatever frequency it is. You know, normally like it would be in the middle of the band, so then you could use you could go from one side of the band to the other with the minimal SWR, because you would reach a null point in the middle of the band, and then it would start climbing as you went out towards the edge of the band on either side. So most folks just tune it for the center of that particular band, and works great that way. I have used 7188 as my center point. So as I tune through there, I just reach a minimum SWR on 7188, and it climbs on either side of that. So there you have a bit of stuff about antennas. This is Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Bravo 2, Kilo Oscar Lima. How copy?
I think it's Kilo Bravo 2 station. Come back with your call sign one more time, please, sir, phonetically, slowly. Come back with your call sign one more time, please, sir, phonetically, slowly.
We'll try very hard. Kilo Bravo 2, Zulu Oscar Lima.
Okay, I got Kilo Bravo 2, Zulu Oscar, and what's the last letter?
Kilo Bravo 2, Zulu Oscar, and what's the last letter?
Alpha?
Alpha?
Zulu Oscar Alpha, is that a Roger? Zulu Oscar Alpha, is that a Roger? I wish I had a better copy. You're only, just a couple of dB over my noise level. So actually, over the Kentucky SDR noise level. What's the name there? The Kentucky SDR noise level. What's the name there? Is that a Greg? Is that Roger? Is that a Greg? Is that Roger? Gosh, station, like I said, I wish I had a better copy, but I tell you, station, why don't we try this? Why don't you give me about 10 or 15 seconds about your antenna system, and I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger? And I'll look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
6 meters, over.
Oh, I got a little bit of you on my local antenna. That's the 7300 on the tuned dipole antenna. So let me try this again. What's the call sign again, please, sir?
Kilo Bravo 2, 0,
And the name is Greg, and what's the location?
North Carolina, over.
North Carolina, Roger. And what radio are you running?
1019, Mark 5, over.
Okay, Mark 5, is that a Roger? Oh, Roger that. Okay, and what was the name again? Gosh, faded out there. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it work or not. Were you interested in a setup procedure for your radio? Transmitter setup, Roger. If you would be interested in that, I can. If you've got a halfway decent copy on me, I can give it to you, and you can just take notes, Roger. Roger, so I don't think we're going to be able to make it this afternoon. I just, you're only about a dB over my 7300 noise level, and that's the best signal I've got for all of my SDRs and my local receiver. So just Mother Nature's not helping us out this afternoon. Roger, Roger. I'm sorry, we may have doubled it. I was just saying that Mother Nature is not helping us out this afternoon. I'm running a KW, and so if that's any idea, I can't really dump it down, but this is a KW, so just some idea of what Mother Nature is doing to our signals today. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. 73 there, and you have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. You get a chance to join us next weekend. Maybe we'll have better conditions. Mother Nature might be in better stance, We'll bring some muscatel along and see if we can get Mother Nature to feeling better. 73, and we'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. check up in Milford, PA SDR. By George, I think Milford's off frequency. My SDR up in Milford doesn't seem to be on frequency. Let me just see what we've got about that. Audio check 1 2 3 4 5. Oh well, there we got the Milford back on frequency. If you're up and around the Pennsylvania area, I do have my Milford PA SDR up and running now. It deliberately decided to change frequency for whatever reason. I don't know, but sometimes these SDRs have a mind of their own. If you're up around that area and would like to give us a shout, go ahead. And we're getting kind of close here till 5 o'clock. We record live from 3:30 till 5 or thereabouts. And then run it up to YouTube by Saturday morning, before noon. And so if you have participated, you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. But today we are recording, and so if you want to be part of that recording, if you give us a shout, we're listening. This is KC9VKV, and my New York SDR was off frequency. I don't know, there's some gremlins in the waxworks there somewhere. I didn't do it, so it changed the frequency by itself. So that doesn't help reception very much. Oh yeah, give me a crowbar, I'll fix it. I have some traffic back in there. I don't know whether it's skip or what it is. If there's a station calling Kilo Charlie 9 Victor, Kilo Victor, try again, please. And Victor, Kilo Victor, try again, please. All right, so I'm going to get on to my Hocus Pocus SDR. I'm just going to do that, and I want to assume that whoever's calling me is calling me from Florida. I'm just going to assume that, and obviously what they say about assumptions, but I'm going to assume that whoever it is winging in here from Florida. So I'm going to go to my Florida SDR, and I'm going to check and see what I can do there. Now, my Florida SDR, I've got an Orlando SDR, which won't come up. I've got a Casselberry, Florida SDR, which will come up. And I'll just see if, let me see what happens here. This is KC9VKV. We're listening down in Florida. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Listening down in Florida, so that would be Florida and Georgia. Florida and Georgia. Florida and Georgia. This is KC9VKV.
Florida and Georgia. This is KC9VKV.
Well, nobody heard down that way. I wonder if it could be Missouri. Missouri sometimes come in kind of light. So let me back out of here, and I'll get down to my my Missouri SDR and see if I can bring up Missouri. I'm on my Hocus Pocus SDR receiver, and let's see here, going west. No. Oh well, there you go. First your money, then your clothes. I don't know. The Hocus Pocus, some of those that have dropped by the wayside since last I programmed them. Sometimes internet SDRs do not stay up forever. They are only maybe up for a couple of months, and then they die, or they're taken down or something, and so there you go. Let me try another out west one. Oh boy, yeah, there's a lot that are not functioning. Well, anyway, I guess we're close enough. We're going to try it one more time. If there's anybody out there that needs their radio checked, helped, give me a shout. I did hear somebody back in there. Let me see if I can get my my Kentucky SDR up. That would be of great help there. I do have my PA SDR, but if I can get my Kentucky SDR up. Oh, what's wrong with you? There you are. And let's see here. All right, so I'm going that way. I did hear a station back in there did have possibilities, so I'm going to try to get my Kentucky SDR up. If you have a radio you want to shout, that station calling me, try it again, please.
Try it again, please.
Whiskey 9, Mike Romeo Bravo.
Whiskey 9, Mike Romeo Bravo. Roger, and what's the name there?
Oh, Roger, and what's the name there?
You got Mike. I talked to you back in June off of a Turner 8010. I am a different setup right now. Now I'm on a 7300 Icon.
Roger, Mike, running a 7300 this afternoon. And what's your location?
We are in
Sycamore, Illinois, a town about
Roger that, Mike. Well, if you'd be interested in the setup on that radio, you know, it starts with that transmit bandwidth. We want that to be in the wide mode, 100 to 2900. You have a selection of 3 on the 7300, and we want it in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. Roger?
Transmit bandwidth, Roger.
Yeah, I believe that's where we're at. I think that's where we are. Let's check it out.
Yes, sir, because that will allow your transmitter to function as best it can without any restrictions except the 2900. And what that does, it just gives you a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. You know, and that's the beautiful thing about that frequency range, 100 to 2900. It's best it can be, and then just a slice of daylight before entering somebody else's area. Roger. Somebody else's area. Roger.
Okay, yeah, we're trying to find it on this radio here. We just, let's get back up. I think that's where we are, but we're going to look right now. We got to figure out how to get there quicker.
Yes, sir. Settings, transmit, sideband, somewhere in there. Somewhere in there.
We're looking for it right now. Hold on.
Yes, sir. Settings, transmit, sideband, you know, and then somewhere in that area. You know, settings is the cross arms there. You got the wrench and the hammer or whatever. That's settings. I've got a book on that. I mean, you know, numbers, or should I say, I have notes on that 7300. Let me see here. Hang on just a minute.
Okay, that's where we have it set. So hopefully it sounds okay for you. That's where it's been.
Excellent. Now, are you working on the hand mic that was supplied with the radio? Is that a Roger?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a great microphone. Bob Heil did a beautiful job designing that microphone for that radio. But what you want to do is pull that microphone to the side of your lips and talk across it, to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Don't talk into it, just talk across it, Roger?
That's exactly how I'm doing it.
Roger. So, and then you want to adjust that compressor to a 3 compression. You know, a 3 and a 6 are the same as far as actually working on the word. A 3 and a 6 are the same, except the 6 sucks up between the words, which doesn't do anybody any good. So we suggest a 3 on the compressor, Roger?
You've got every setting that you've told me. That's where we are.
All right, now let's go to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the word audio, you become a human test tone generator and adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3. That's audio. Adjust the mic gain until your ALC meter is running 2/3.
There we go. How's that?
Yes, sir. Why don't you tell me about the best thing you like about your radio?
We have several different units. We just picked up an FTGX10, so that's probably the next radio that I'll give you. I'll get on you, call you on maybe next time I'm out here. I like these radios. I'm not doing the correctly, but blind hand, and I use what's called impod. Pointed at me. Video is accessible.
Yes, sir, Mike. Well, you realize that you're really going to have your job cut out for you to do better than that 7300. That 7300 has one of the best transmitters I've ever heard in my life. Bob Heil not only did the mic for that, the handheld mic, but he did the EQ, I believe, also. And that EQ is simplicity personified. I mean, you know, the whole idea is that an equalizer will give you a balance from the treble to the mid-range and the base to the mid-range. And that being so, we don't need a mid-range control. Matter of fact, it can get you in a lot of trouble if you start screwing with a mid-range control. We usually suggest keeping that mid-range EQ control flat or off, and then adjust your treble or bass to whatever you need. And that was so much so that I decided, well, if that's true, then we don't even need a mid-range control. So they don't put a mid-range control in the 7300 or the 7610. I believe they just use a treble control to strike a balance from the treble to the mids, and a bass control to strike a balance between the bass and the mid-range. And that you couldn't get simpler than that, Roger.
You couldn't get simpler than that, Roger.
Yeah, I like the crystals a lot. They sound really well with hand mic. And I also have an SM50. But I'm outside right now. We're in a underneath a roof here outside. And I'm afraid if we put the SM50 on, we're going to get too much wind noise. But I'm not sure. So I'm just running in.
So, Mike, I'm looking around now, and I can only find you on my local, my Kentucky SDR. I've checked all the other SDRs, and you're only showing up on my Kentucky SDR at about a dB or two over its noise level. And again, might I recommend, and I always do, a tuned dipole antenna as to be one of the most efficient antennas in the world as far as getting out, because you just fire to the wire. You know, there's no antenna tuner there because you have no SWR, because you are your antenna is adjusted for no SWR. And so as far as achieving maximum capability of whatever power that you put in, that tuned dipole antenna will be a maximum efficiency antenna. Roger?
Efficiency antenna, Roger.
Yeah, we're running right now an off-center fed antenna. It's about 90 feet long on one side, 40 feet on the other side. And we're running about 1,500 watts into it right now. So I don't know why you don't hear me. You should really be hearing me well, but maybe the conditions aren't great.
Yeah, conditions are not great. You're listening to a kilowatt, and I've been around the Horn. I've been up in New York. I've been in Pennsylvania. I've been in Georgia. I've been in Virginia, and the only one I'm copying the mail is on my Kentucky SDR, and I think that's up around on the Kentucky side, up around Cincinnati, Ohio. Roger?
Around Cincinnati, Ohio. Roger?
Okay, I can't remember. Where is your actual location, your station, though? Did you say you're in Pennsylvania? I can't remember.
No, we're down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. And that's our transmitter, and we do have fingers all over as far as listening. All of our internet SDRs are our listeners, but we are transmitting all the time on our tuned dipole antenna right at Louisville. Roger?
Right at Louisville. Roger?
Alrighty, and what kind of power are you putting out?
This is SB220 running 1 kW. We always have run that for the last 7 years. Roger?
7 years. Roger?
Okay, well, you sound great. I mean, I remember talking to you last time on that Stoner radio. I don't know if you remember me, but on June 7th, the video, we kept it, so did you put that up there? So we'll look for it again today to see how the radio sounds. That'll give me a better idea of what we sound like there when you put the video gate up there.
Yes, sir. From what I can hear, the audio sounds intelligible. It has a nice artistic sound to it. It cuts and that's the main thing. It could be a little fuller. Did we ever get to the ALC part? Checking that ALC level, bring your ALC meter up as you say the word audio and adjust your mic gain for 2/3 on your ALC meter.
For 2/3 on your ALC meter?
Yes, sir. That's where I said it. Yeah, 2/3 meter check. I have the handheld. I mean the SM50. I mean I have one, but I don't know where it's at. It's not here. I will pull that on for you. But there's a wind. There's a pretty good amount of wind out here. So if I put it on, I think it's a lot of noise. So, well, you know what? As long as you can hear me, okay. I'll listen on the YouTube video when you put it out. Yeah, the wind's blowing right in my face right now. You might be able to hear it a little bit, but yeah, I won't tie you up. I just wanted to give you a call, and glad to hear you still out here. Last time I talked to you was in June, so conditions aren't great because I heard you better last time.
Yes, sir. So you're outside now, in a mobile, or what's that?
In a mobile, or what's that?
Nope, we were able to get it set up here. It's like a patio, basically. And we're underneath the roof, but it's open, we have some shades around us. But it's fully open, so we're getting the outside air. So it's gorgeous outside right now. We're plugged into a power supply, and we have a relay for the amplifier run out here, as well as the coax. So we can do full base operation from an outside location of the base station. So generally the base station is in the basement. We have several radios. This is one of them. We have a 7610, we have a Yaesu WTGX10, and we have that Stoner, and a couple other radios here and there. But I want to try you from all the radios. So this week will be the 7300. The next time I get you will either be the DX10 or the 7610, and you can give me my report then also.
Roger, Mike. Well, I'll guarantee you, if you take that hand mic and you put it to the side of your lips, directly touch the side of your lips and speak, there's no way that any wind noise is going to overcome your percent of modulation, unless, of course, you're doing 100 miles an hour down an interstate somewhere. But if you're just, in a house, outside, whatever, if you have that mic touching your lips on the corner and you're speaking, you are going to dominate that audio envelope, and the noise is not going to be present, again, unless you're in a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane.
In a 100-mile-an-hour hurricane.
Okay, I turned it the other way. The wind is hitting the back of the microphone now, and I got it pretty much up to my face, as close as I can get it. I just didn't want to get too close to it, but this is exactly where you're telling me to put it, so that's where it's at. I have the microphone facing away from the wind right now, so this should probably be the best I can do with it right now.
Yes, sir. You actually touch the corner of your lips, man. That's the thing. You need to touch the corner of your lips so your microphone is back, so you're not going to pick up any plosives and mouth noises back there. And plus, your signal-to-noise ratio comes up tremendously when you're touching the corner of your lips to the microphone, Roger. It actually do that.
Microphone, Roger. It actually do that.
Yep, that's where I have it right now, just where you're saying. It's about as close as I can get it without eating it. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll take a few chunks. I'm kidding, but, you do want to actually touch your lips. You're back far enough that you can actually touch your lips, and your pronunciation, articulation will just be beautiful back there, Roger.
Articulation will just be beautiful back there, Roger.
Okay, well, that's exactly where I have it, so hopefully it sounds okay to you.
Yes, sir, it does, and it seems like your average percent of peak modulation is up there, around 80 to 85%, which is precisely what we want. That is like about a 3 dB dynamic range. What happens is if you exceed 3 dB and continue to compress your audio, you do yourself a disservice, because comprehension of words, you have to have some life in the the modulation to be able to perceive what the words are. It's got to breathe a little bit. And if it doesn't, if it's just up against the wall, it becomes almost unintelligible. So that's why we suggest a 3 dB dynamic range to keep a little bit of life in your audio, Roger. In your audio, Roger.
All right, let me know what this sounds like here. I just threw the SM50 on. Should give me a totally different dynamic there. And we're about, I'm about maybe 6 inches away from it. And we get the same audio level, so I don't know if this thing's going to be too hot or if it's banging the ALC here, but you tell me how it sounds there. Go ahead.
Oh, gosh, just beautiful, just beautiful. Sound like you walked in a room, opened the door, and stepped in, Roger. In a room, opened the door, and stepped in, Roger.
Okay, well, yeah, I like this microphone better. I just didn't know how it would react being outside. I don't like handheld mics. I never use them myself, but I just figured I'd try you with the stock microphone to see where we're at. And now we have the 50 on, which is a very good microphone. Really like this thing a lot, so I'm glad to get a good report from you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And you'll, if you listen to your audio, you'll be so surprised about what happens there when you switched mics. I mean, it just, like I say, it was a difference of opening the door and stepping in a room, you know. The audio came up, the crispness came up, just beautiful. I would get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down, Mike. Get the Gorilla Tape out and taper down, Mike.
Okay, cool. I'm going to definitely listen, so whenever you put the video up, I'm going to be able to hear the difference between the two microphones now, so that's going to be interesting. Like I said, we're sitting outside right now. It's a gorgeous day, probably middle 80s, so, I mean, you might be a little bit warmer. I'm not sure exactly what the temperature is, but it's very nice. A little bit high on the humidity, but I don't care because it's summer and it's going away quick, so we're enjoying it as much as we can. That's why we're staying outside. So, listen, I want to thank you for the radio check and the radio advice and all that. I'm going to let you get on with it and talk to other people. And I will look forward to listening to us when you put it up. Go ahead.
Roger, Mike. Well, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So there you go. You have a great afternoon there, Mike, and we are probably going to wrap it up here shortly. So let me say 73 to you, sir. Here shortly. So let me say 73 to you, sir.
Okay, 73, and thank you very much for the radio setting suggestions, and I'll get back to you next time on the Yaesu, and then you can tell me how that one's doing. I don't know when that's going to be, probably a few more weeks at least, so you take care, and thanks a lot for talking to me. This is our KC9VKV, this is W9MRB 73.
Roger, sir, 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net, and if you participated and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do that call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3100, and I will have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. And with all of that said, we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV Clear.